All right, I have noon on Friday. So welcome to day 5 of the 5-day challenge on Pray Drive. And man, I'm excited to see everybody back today. And today is going to be a great topic. We're going to have people joining us. We are streaming this live on Facebook. And if you don't know, all of this, anything I do on Facebook or like this goes to YouTube. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Coach Michael Burt, and you want to get hours and hours of content, then pretty much everything I do goes to everything that's public. Now, you do have to get behind the paywall, what they call in our business, the paywall, to get some of the good stuff. Okay. I don't give it all away for free, folks. I give a lot away for free, but I don't give it all away for free. And if you've been watching this week and Eric White is on here, you know that my coaching program right now is 40% off. My monthly coaching program that includes access to me every week. Every Monday, I do a call. You get the online academy. Okay. You get a lot of specials and perks. This week, it's at 40% off. That's $297 a month. And I really want to encourage you, if you've ever thought about being coached, okay, I'm in coaching programs. I pay people to coach me. Right now, I have a woman upstairs who is here, and I've spent 2 days with her, helping her find, package, market, and monetize her special. She's had breakthroughs after breakthroughs, a few breakdowns, but a lot of it has been breakthroughs where she's like, oh my gosh, I've learned more with you in 2 days than, man, spending thousands and thousands of dollars on coaching programs. And she's going to we'll leave here with 7 ways that she can monetize her talents. Okay. I drew it all up on the board, step by step. So over 2 days, I've kind of pulled out of her what makes her unique. She's leaving with a concept. She's leaving with a way to package that concept. She's leaving with ways to market that concept. She's leaving with ways to monetize the concept. Okay. So I want you to remember, all roads with me lead to monetization. Where there's no money, there's no mission. Okay. So I really want to just encourage you guys, if you're out there and you're struggling, man, this is something I've studied at a very high level. Pray Drive leads to money, but it only leads to money if you have something to offer people. Okay. If you don't have anything to offer people, then they can't buy anything from you. So they see you and they like you, but there's nowhere for them to go. Okay. So let me go back to, for example, let's take, Coach Breeden up here, who's in the insurance business and a coach. If you've been recruiting people your whole life, right? At the end of the day, that's what you know how to do. You get them to buy into a concept, you shape and mold them and their greatness, and then you send them out to the world. Well, with an insurance business, you can pull people in, coach and mold their greatness, put them into a vehicle where they can make money and you can make money. Okay. That's a different way of making money. And so I really want to show everybody that each one of you have talents, you have skills, you have abilities. Most likely those skills and talents are undercapitalized. How many of you would say your skills and talents are undercapitalized? Okay. And so most people I meet, it's like you're a level 10 person, but you're stuck playing at a level 4 monetization level. And it's like, I just want to put my arms around you and help you figure out ways to go out and make money with your skill sets. Okay. And that's really one of the things my coaching program does, is it keeps you focused on monetization. It keeps you focused on making money, keeps you focused on helping people and generating income. And that's just, quite frankly, where a lot of people struggle. And I can say that confidently after 20 years of coaching people. Okay. Pray Drive. Let's go back and review. Pray Drive is instinct. Pray Drive is expansion. Sales is an expansion activity. Okay. Until the Pray Drive is activated, nothing happens. And until somebody takes an action, there is no money generated. Somebody has got to call somebody and sell something. Okay. And until that happens, then nothing happens. Okay. So the question becomes, why would your Pray Drive be activated? Okay. And that's when I get into because goals, because I'm tired of living at this level, because I'm embarrassed, because I know I've got a bigger gear, because I feel like it's time to step into my potential. like I'm a talented person, but something's not clicking. So prey drive is this instinct inside of you to pursue a dream, a goal, a deal, a possibility, an opportunity. And what happens is life kind of knocks the prey drive out of you, or you get to a level and you become complacent. And complacency is you've kind of settled for the life you have. And you just say, this is as good as it's ever going to get. There's no really reason to pursue it. It won't work anyway. There's no way it'll work. And what you don't do is you just kind of stop pursuing. Okay. And that's really what you do is you stop pursuing. And we don't want that to happen to you. I'm just making some notes of things that it's triggered in my mind. Because even when I talk about this, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people I could be following up with. There's so much possibility. There's so many opportunities. It's like frustrating that we can't get to them. So remember this, there is no shortage of money. There is no shortage of opportunity. There is no shortage of people. There is a shortage of prey drive. And that is the instinct to pursue and keep pursuing until you bring something to a close. So as I'm talking, you should be writing down dreams, ideas, people, partnerships. You should be like, as I'm talking, it should be triggering or associating, man, there's all these people we could be following up with that we are not following up with. We're not pursuing for some reason. Okay. Why have we quit pursuing it? Because they didn't take our phone call? Because they didn't text you back? Because you didn't think they were interested? Or at one time, did they indicate interest and you just didn't pursue it to its conclusion? Okay. And if door A was closed, did you go to door B? If door B was closed, like I said, I just showed this young lady upstairs 7 different ways she could be making money with her talents. You know, the funny thing, RJ, she's doing all of these things right now, but she's not making money with any of them. Until I showed her that this is actually how you could be making money. Okay. And you have the skill and you have the talent. And here's the interesting part. You actually have the relationships. You're just not pursuing it this way. Okay. You're not pursuing this monetization. So, you know, when you think about it, sometimes you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame and you're so close to it. And I had a class when I was working on my doctorate in assumption, bias, and prejudgment. And I was like, what am I doing in this class? Like I'm getting a degree in leadership. What am I doing in a class in assumption, bias, and prejudgment? Well, guess what I figured out? Everybody has assumption, bias, and prejudgment based on their past. They bring that to the equation. So they have this assumption it's going to be hard to make money. I can't do it. They have some kind of prejudgment. They don't have any money. They can't purchase this. I've had people tell me they didn't have money and buy a $50,000 coaching program from somebody else. I've seen it. It's like, oh, I thought they didn't have any money, but they bought a $50,000 coaching program from somebody else. Okay. We have a kid in our coaching program right now that borrowed the $30,000 to be in one of my coaching programs. That's literally scrubbing the floors and taking out the trash at Trader Joe's. And he borrowed $30,000 to be in my coaching program to learn how to monetize his skill set. Okay. Because he's sick and tired of being sick and tired of underperforming based on his unique talents in the world. All he needs is a coach. Okay. So prey drive is pursuit. Now, today we're going to talk about something I don't talk about a lot, but it is in the book. And we hope that everybody's purchased their book. Okay. Yesterday, my publisher told me that they were going to be taking a few weeks off at Christmas, and I had a complete come apart. I'm like, are you kidding me? We're right in the middle of
this is
trying
a true
to sell
story.
10.
I want to vote for this. Is a true story because I actually sent it to the group. I'm actually privileged to be in there, so he's not lying.
So they sent me a message, said, look, we're going to be kind of taking off for the next couple of weeks till the 2nd of December. And I'm like, what? Like I'm in the middle of trying to sell 10,000 books. We don't take off 2 weeks when we're in the middle of trying to move 10,000 books. I thought we're all on the same team, right? Like y'all make money when I sell these books. Okay. I'm going to keep working for the next 2 weeks because I set targets and I don't back down for those targets. I don't back down because it's Christmas time. I don't back down. Christmas present to me, if you ever want to buy me a Christmas present, is buy copies of this book. Okay. That is a Christmas present to me. Okay. If you really want to bless it, buy 250 copies of the book. Okay. But I just could not wrap my brain around. You guys are going to take 2.5 weeks off. And I said, but you know what I told me? I've carried people my whole life. I'll carry y'all too. I don't mind carrying y'all because I've been carrying people my whole life on my back. Okay. So I'll just pick up the luggage and keep on carrying it. Okay.
It's a strong back, Coach. You got a strong back.
Now we're going to talk about the dark side of Pray Drive today. And because I have been dealing with human nature, and if you're going to be a coach of people, you should be studying human nature. There's a whole chapter in my book where I just tackle big questions. Why do good people turn bad? Why do people start and quit? Why do people get lazy? Why do people give up on their dreams? Why do people, like, it's a really fascinating chapter. And when I was writing the book, I'm like, these are big questions that nobody really answers. Why do people give up when it gets hard? Why do people, right? Like, so I said, man, I'm going to tackle this based on 30 years of coaching people. Well, one of the things I tackle in the book is the dark side of Pray Drive. And what I mean by that, I sat down with my 10-year-old daughter last night, and we went through the parable of the talents. And I was teaching her, we went through word by word, and I Googled and showed her what is the meaning of the parable of the talents. And so I'm breaking down the parable of talents. A talent in the Bible was a sum of money, right? Each person got a talent or X number of talents based on their abilities. And they were supposed to go take the talents and work to create more, to bring it back with interest. Okay. And then I got to the end and I said, look at what it said about the person that buried the talent. Okay. We got into the weeping and gnashing of teeth. She's like, Dad, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, let's look it up. What does it mean? So we started going through all of these interpretations of what the Bible meant when it says weeping and gnashing, and how many different times did it mean? And I said, at the end of the day, this is a bad place. You don't want to go. Okay. Let's just be real clear about this. And she's 10 years old. So she's trying to figure out what it all means. And we just had this great conversation before she went to bed, about the parable of the talents. And I asked her, do you know what a talent is? And do you know what an ability is? And I started thinking about the dark side of Pray Drive. There's negative emotions. There's good and evil. And the negative emotions, how many of you, and right out of the gate from the story of Adam and Eve, okay, God gave Adam the garden and said, work it, tend to it. He didn't say lay around and be lazy. He didn't say just do nothing. He said, work, tend to this garden. Okay, that's work, folks. But then the serpent comes in and they do something they shouldn't do. And Adam blames her. Why did you do this? She told me to do it, right? There you go. Men blaming women right out of the get-go. And then what does she say? The serpent made me do it. So there we go. Now we're into blaming other people because we did something we shouldn't do. But there are negative things that happen in life. There's good and evil. So let's tackle some of those. Anger. It's okay to be angry. The Bible doesn't say anywhere it's not okay to be angry. But what are you supposed to do with that anger? Okay. And so my point is, I think about the times when we get angry, frustrated, jealous, disappointed, embarrassed. Okay. How do we use negative emotions to produce a high Pray Drive? All right. Now, in 2018, I went through what I considered some really bad conflict. I had 2 bad business partners. I can't talk a lot about it, but they are the definition of evil. Okay. So they were evil people. Okay. They were very manipulative. And I went through a terrible breakup with these 2 bad business partners. And I went through all of this conflict. And so I started studying conflict, and I'm like, okay, where can I learn how to deal with major conflict? I go to the Bible. Coincidentally, the Bible doesn't say a lot about conflict. It says to try to solve the problem. If you can't, go to another person, bring another person in to solve the problem. And so I'm like, where do I go to figure this out? Because I got all this emotion, negative emotion, anger and resentment and disappointment and brokenheartedness it can paralyze you. How many of you have been paralyzed by one of these emotions before? Okay, I have. And so I'm like, what do I do with this? And so as I begin to study conflict and anger, there you go, betrayal, disappointment, rage, I started to go, what can I do with this? Okay. And what I figured out was this. I always believed that passion came from emotion. Like you had emotion and you had passion. Well, what I really figured out is guess where real passion comes from? Real passion comes from conflict. Real emotion comes from conflict. Think about a time in your life where you have really been screwed over. Think about a time in your life where somebody really did you wrong. Think about a time in your life where you thought there was serious injustice. Think about a time in your life where somebody treated you terrible. And I want you to think about the pray drive you had during that season. I want you to think about how motivated you were to prove somebody wrong, to show up and deliver when somebody didn't think you were good enough. See, what I began to really study in 2018 is how do I take negative and turn it into positive? How do I take the dark side of pray drive? Okay, so I wrote about a lot of this in the book, and my editor, who's on vacation this week, she said to me, why is all this negative in the book? Like, is pray drive only activated by negative? Something negative happened to you? Somebody makes fun of you? Somebody screws you over? Somebody slights you? And I said, no, ma'am. Pray drive can be activated by positive reinforcement, positive attention, positive energy. It could be activated by, but let me tell you when it's really activated. Typically when there's something negative that happens to people. Okay. And they want to use that fuel. Okay. But it has to be what? Converted. So transformation is really the conversion of something into something greater. That's what transformation is. I take a bad experience and I convert it to a positive. How many of you at one time in your life had something really negative happen and you thought it was the end of the world, and then many years later it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to you? And you're like, man, thank God that happened, right? So, Garth Brooks' song, Unanswered Prayers, or it's something. But this is really what I want to teach you how to do today. When you have anger, disappointment, sense of rejection, somebody don't think you're good enough, somebody challenges you, somebody makes fun of you, somebody doubts you, somebody, even if it's not real, even if it's perceived, I want to teach you to very quickly convert that fuel. Coach Breeden, how many years do you coach at Riverdale, Coach Breeden?
I coached there. I coached Riverdale 9. I've coached about 30 altogether.
30 years. Okay. When I went to Riverdale, I was practicing one day. And I want to show you how this happened. And when I got to Riverdale, it was considered a football school. They won football championships. They made fun of girls basketball. And when I first took over as head coach, the track team was practicing in the gym. The volleyball team was upstairs. People were running all around the gym. It was total chaos. And this was common. Like, I was trying to have practice and it was total chaos. Nobody respected us. And I literally had the doors locked from the inside so nobody could get in to disrupt my practices. And you should have seen how people treated me. They all got mad at me. They wanted to fight me. They wanted to do all these things. Well, one day the football team was practicing in season, and it was my preseason. And I was in preseason, they were in season, and it rained outside. And I was inside in my preseason getting ready. My players were running through things. And the football coaches came into the gym and completely took the gym over, brought 100 football players in there right in the middle of my preseason workouts. They went upstairs and took all of our cones that we had, ladders that we were working, threw them upstairs, completely me out in front of all the players. This is in front of high school kids. And I walked in there that day. I went into my office that day and I was just like, I've never seen anything like this, man. These are grown men and they were in season, and this is how they treated me today in a gymnasium, in the gymnasium I'm supposed to be in preseason. And let me tell you something, I was so mad. I was so mad that we were getting treated like that I had a rage about me. And it started to just manifest in me. And I started going, and I called my boss that day. And he, of course, he was a big football guy, which I loved him. But he's like, oh, it's football season, blah, blah, blah. And he really kind of took up for him. I said, man, you should have seen how these people treated me today. I said, but it's okay. It's okay. Because one of these days, I'm going to be the king of the mountain. One of these days, I'm going to come back and win a championship. One of these days, I'm going to build a powerhouse. And people are going to pay attention to me. And I'm going to get some attention from all of these people, right? Now, what happened was I was so furious. And I let that harbor in me for years. Now, let me go back and ask a question. Should I be mad at those people for that day, or should I go back and thank them? See, they planted a fire in me. They stirred something in me right? Tony Robbins' mother was terribly mean to him. She poured liquid soap down his throat. She wouldn't let him do anything. She completely controlled him. She made him quit everything that he ever did because she was such a control freak. Now, he would tell you today, should I go back? Should I be mad at her, or should I go back and thank her? Because I wouldn't be the man I am today, she says, if my mom would have been everything I wanted her to be to me. Now, the reason I want you to think about these things is I want you to think about how fast can I convert a negative to a positive, okay? So there's 3 things people do when they have pain. I want you to write these down. When people have pain, there's 3 ways they deal with that pain. Number 1, they medicate it. They medicate it, which is escape. They're trying to escape. So they medicate it. Drugs, alcohol, something. Okay. The second thing they do is they meditate on it, which means they stew on it. They just that's what I did back in those days. And then I kind of combined the third thing is they motivate it. They use pain. If you study King Solomon, King David, they were workers. The more mad they got, the more they worked, and 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 they worked. Now, that can become unhealthy, right? Like we become workaholics, and some would say we become workaholics because we don't want any quiet time. We don't want any silence. We don't want to deal with anything. So we just work until we exhaust ourselves, and then we go to sleep, and we get up and work again the next day. Now, here's the point. I want you to think of when something happens in your life. Dr. Elko always said, thank you, I owe you. Thank you, I owe you. See, when I got that email yesterday from my publisher saying they were taking off, I sent an email back to them that said, you can take off if you want to, but I don't take off. Not when I'm trying to hit an objective. And then they sent me an email back that I didn't even read. Craig may have read it, but I didn't read it. I just deleted it because I didn't even want to see it. And here's my point. You know what I thought? Thank you. I owe you. I'm going to go hit this. So here's what I did, Coach Breeden. I called my agent and I said, how many copies of books do I need to sell to get a big advance? He said, if you hit 15,000, I can get you 100,000 advance. If you hit 25,000, I can get you 250,000 advance. And I said, okay, thank you. I owe you, right? Here's what I said yesterday, because I'm going to go make this book a bestseller. And then I'm going to go back to my publisher and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm in high demand now. Got a lot of people wanting me to write books with them, and I'm going to choose somebody who really, really believes in me, wants to see this thing through. And so-and-so over there is offering me a $250,000 advance to write the next one. Thank you. I owe you, right? So I'm not mad at them. I'm actually glad they did it. Now, they didn't mean any harm by it. That's just what they do. They take time off for Christmas, and I understand. Like, I called my agent, and he's like, man, that's just a big company. That's what they do. They take time off for Christmas. I said, I get it, man, but that's not how I operate. Okay. So thank you. So I want you to start saying this to people. Zig Ziglar used to teach, when something really goes bad in life, every time something goes bad, I want you to say fantastic. Right? So something happens, I want you to say fantastic. Because it's hard to be mad when you're saying, see that? Elko teaches, when something happens to you, say thank you, I owe you, because that's what I needed. Now, let me take you back to one other time that I was really embarrassed, because embarrassment is a prey drive activator. In my coaching career, the year before I won a championship, we went to Cleveland, Tennessee, and I thought we were a good team. We were 30-4. And we went to Cleveland, Tennessee, and folks, we got embarrassed. And when I say embarrassed, we got beat, I don't know, 30 or 40 points in a sub-state game. And it was one of the worst beatings I had ever taken as a coach. And we got on that bus and we came back to Nashville, back to Murfreesboro. It's about 3.5 hours. And not one person said one thing for 3.5 hours. People cried. It was awful. It was so embarrassing. And we got off the bus, and my best player, who was Anne-Marie Lanning, said, Coach, let's just go ahead and start practicing for next season. And I said, what did you say? She said, let's just go ahead right now and start practicing for next year. This is after we took the worst beating we've ever taken. She's like, because I ain't never having that feeling again. And these people in the back, I think they get it. And they don't want to have that feeling again. Now, at that night, Lisa Galloway, I was down, depressed, felt like I'd worked years and years to get a chance to win a championship. And I went home that night so dejected. I just wanted to quit, just to be honest with you. And but her saying that to me, Coach, let's just practice right now. Let's just start practicing right now. That motivated me. That activated my prey drive. And we came back the next season. We had a better off season than we ever had. We worked harder than we ever did. And we came back the next season and went 38-3 and won a state championship. At that time, it was the first championship in the history of the school. Now, let me ask you a question. Was that a bad thing that we got beat that bad, or a good thing? See, it took getting beat that bad. So if you ever watch the documentary about Tom Brady has this concept that there is no bad and no good. What seems like a bad thing could be a good thing. What seems like a good thing could be a bad thing. And so you just you just take it as it comes, and you don't get too high and you don't get too low, and you just keep fighting. You just keep showing up. You just keep doing it. You just keep going. I was looking at our numbers today in our business, and I didn't realize we had a real bad September, and then we had a good October, and then we had a decent November. And I was thinking about these cycles of life, is that somewhere you can't have a good day every day. And although you try, some days you lose and some days you win, and some days are high and some days are low, and some days you get embarrassed and some days right? But what's the point, Tim McCormick? You just keep fighting. And prey drive is, man, I had a bad day yesterday. I'm going to shake it off. I'm going to come in and have a good day today. And I just keep using negative. So the key word I want us focusing on today is conversion. I quickly convert negative scenarios, the dark side of prey drive. I actually use fear, anxiety, disappointment, anger, rage, jealousy. I quickly convert it. I turn envy into intrigue. My greatest teacher is my competitor. See, I turn a good whipping into motivation. I turn a bad day into a chance for me to do some introspection. Everything comes back to me. Okay? Everything comes back to me. I never place my destiny in other people's hands. Because the truth is, although I'm giving the publisher a hard time, they're not going to sell that book for me. I'm the one selling the book. Okay? So who cares? They take 2 weeks off. What I really wanted to know was the Amazon numbers. I can't get the Amazon numbers. So I don't know how many people are buying the book every day. The only people who can get it is the publisher. That's why I needed them in the equation. But they're not selling the book for me. Okay? So all I can do is go back to this. Hey man, thank you. I owe you. I need a little push. You gave me a push. The negative became a positive, and I quickly converted it to action. And this is prey drive. Prey drive is I'm trying to get to this level, and sometimes I need some conflict. Sometimes I need a push. Sometimes I need some tension. Sometimes I need somebody making fun of me. Sometimes I need somebody doing something that activates my drive to go back into battle again. Does everybody see that? Now, Ginger, this is not how a lot of people operate, though. A lot of people, when they get knocked down, they stay down. Okay, this is what's going on in the mortgage business a lot. I'm down, I'm whining, I'm pouting, I'm freezing. I am not taking action. When in doubt, take an action. Okay, when I don't know what to do, call somebody, follow up with somebody, introduce somebody, engage with somebody. And it's like a moment where it's like, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Like I wrote down 10 or 15 people here I should be following up with. Strategic partner, opportunity, push something, engage with somebody, bring something to a close. Like don't sit, right? Story says we sit, we settle, and we cement. You know how hard it is to get back up after you're cemented? You're so settled that you can't even get up and get going, man. And that is really the problem, okay? So today's session was on conversion, the dark side of Prey Drive. You need fear, anxiety, even insecurity. All of these things can feed you, okay? But you have to convert them from negative to positive. I'm going to use this experience to produce something positive. Okay, that's the purpose of this event right here. It is activating my Prey Drive. So I want you to start saying when something bad goes wrong, fantastic. Thank you. I owe you because you activated something inside of me. You don't even know you activated. Last year, we lost a deal. It was about a $50,000 deal. And I was so frustrated. But I told Eric, I said, I'm going to go out and make 50,000 right now. He said, what do you mean? I said, no, I'm going to do it right now. I'm not going to do it in 2 days. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to do it to show that person I don't need their 50,000. Okay. I can go find 50,000 from somebody else. Right. So thank you. I owe you. Fantastic. See what I'm saying? Oh, I don't want to do business with you. Fantastic. Hey, I don't think you're any good. Thank you. I owe you. I don't, right? See, you got to start using these. That's how big time people do is they use it as a challenge. Okay. Now, this has been a good week. I suspect, Eric, that some of these people are ready to leave their amateur desires behind and go pro. Okay.
Yes.
And a pro does not dabble. They decide. A pro takes action. A pro moves and shakes. A pro gets in the game. A pro knows they need coaching. So I really want to encourage you, if you're here this week, if you are ready to make a decision to go pro, all the pros have a coach. All of them do. Okay. And they have somebody pouring into their life like this, coaching them on a consistent basis. Okay. They don't dabble. They don't start and stop. They literally have somebody stimulating their growth, holding them accountable, engaging with them, and even creating tension in their life. Sometimes a good coach will say something to you, and it's like, man, that hurt. Man, that hurt.
Which I'm reminded of a phrase that one of your top clients used in explaining what he did to grow. And he gave you unlimited license to tell him what he needed to hear, not what he wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And when he did that, he went from 35 homes sold in a year to now I think his team's going to do close to 300 this year.
Right.
And he's making 7 figures in personal income.
Yeah.
So there is this idea that you do have to commit to allow somebody else to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And you do that for me pretty much on an hourly basis. So, but without that, I'd probably starving to death on some car lot somewhere. Right. So there is a decision to be made. And at the end of the day, you say this a lot, we're looking for hungry, humble, and coachable people.
Yeah.
We're looking for people that are curious, open-minded. They're not postured with ego or conflict. They want to grow and expand. And the only way that we all can do that, me included, is to continue to allow you to have those conversations with us and coach us hard, intense, but positive. So I really do want to encourage you. This time of year is critical because you're gearing up for next year. This is a commitment that's sitting here right before you. You're on this call for a reason. This coaching program is never going to be this cheap again, right? $297 a month. The next 12 months could be a game changer for you, but it requires you to give coach unlimited license to get in the middle of your business, right? And challenge you. So, Coach, can you talk a little bit about that and how you've seen that work for we're talking about Tommy Davidson, but there's other people.
I could give you person after person. I got an email yesterday from a person that said they had never monetized. They just went out and I think they've generated $40,000 or something from time with me. Oh, it's Brad Blazer. It's a guy in Texas that I started coaching a few years ago. And he's convincing people to spend $40,000 with him. Mm-hmm. And he said, man, I've never been able to make this kind of money until you came into my life and you showed me, you crystallized my calling. You showed me how to make money. You showed me how to monetize. You activated my pre-drive. He was going down the wrong path, doing the wrong thing, and I kind of course corrected him. And he just sends me these text messages all the time. It's like, man, I just want to thank you for how much money you're helping me make. There's a direct correlation between my coaching and you making more money. Craig, you want to say something here?
I did. And, I'll be the first to say, look, there's a package on the table right now that's discounted, but a lot of you don't need that package. You need something more. You need something different. And so I'll say, Eric, if you got time after this call, I don't know what you look like. I'm going to stay after this call ends. If anyone wants to go a little bit deeper, I call people up on an occasion and do a little deep dive under the business, take a look under their hood and see what's good, what's not. But $297 a month right now is not a lot to most people. You guys could find a way to make that happen. But is that all you need, right? Some people need more. There's other people, like I see in the room, Omar, he's doing a little bit deeper dive. We're actually doing some executive coaching together. So some folks need something else. Some folks might need the next step. So obviously, if you just want to get in a rhythm for something that you feel like you just need this, continuous motivation, and you see, like I said, when the book launch goes away, you're going to see a lot less of Coach. I can promise you that. It's going to be a little bit restricted to the people that pay. So that being said, I think $297 is an easy way to get in the door, but some of y'all need more. So I want to kind of extend some time after this call if you want to sit with me or Eric or whoever and just kind of have a conversation, or we could schedule something. Let us do that for you so we could kind of get the chance to really dig into what's really good for you or what's not, and what it entails. Because I hear the pitch coming through and they're like, oh, they're going to sell me something, or they're going to give me something, or we're going to offer them to go deeper in the future. But some of you need a little bit more information or want to, know how it's going to pertain to you. And, that's what we usually do. When you hear Eric, myself, Kelly, or somebody calling you, it's just to go to find out what's good for you. What do you need? What structures are missing? And what can we offer you? Because you can't get all the information on a call like this. So I just want to make sure that that opportunity does exist. And I'm willing to hang out for 15, 20 minutes after this call to help walk you guys through some of those structures. Yeah,
that's right. And Kelly's got Success School. So Craig's right. Some of you are in the program. If you're not in that, you should get in the basic program no matter what. No matter what, everybody should be in there. Okay. I really believe that. Okay. Korean can tell you. But if some of you want to go deeper with me in different ways, there's certainly ways that we can do that. Just talk to Eric, talk to Craig, and let me help you. Some of you want to speak, coach, train. Some of you in our program right now, Master the Stage, or you're in different programs with us, man, there's a lot of ways we can help you. All roads lead to monetization with me. Okay. So if you're here because you want to make more money, then you found the right dude. Okay. Because I'm going to push you until I get you there. Okay. So Eric, post the link on the book. Okay. Thank you, Omar. Craig and Eric will stay on with you. I want to thank you for a great week. Be on the lookout. There's more things coming next week. Okay. And I just want to say thank you. I owe you. Okay. Thank you. I owe you. All right.
Yeah. And just one thing, I'm going to send a nice package together, notes from all these calls from Coach's stuff. So you're going to get that. Again, you have to be a recipient to our messaging, just so you know. So if you turn that off, you ain't getting it.
Yeah. All right, Craig, you're in charge right now. I'm gonna step off.
Got it.
Thank you, guys.
Tim, how are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you. I was actually going to ask a question for Coach, and then I just deleted it. But it was basically along the lines of when he talked about like capitalizing on the negative, and like he had that time where he told Eric, he's like, I'm just going to go get 50,000 from someone else. I was going to ask, when he has other things on his calendar already set for that day, does he push those off, knowing that responding to that negative has more kind of energy and impact in that moment? Or is it more like, all right, I don't have time for it today, but I'm going to make it happen on Tuesday at 8 a.m. or whatever?
I'll say I could probably respond in some portion of that. It's a priority thing, right? At the end of the day, you're going to look at what the priorities are. And if it's like a team thing that could be pushed off, if it's just, internal, there might be other priorities where we can get to him at a later date. But certainly if he's got a virtual or if he's got something he's committed to, he's going to do that first, and he'll find a way to do it after. This guy works till 8, 9 o'clock at night. There's many, many conversations him and I have late after hours, or we're doing things after other people are hanging out with their kids and stuff. And, I've asked him, nobody knows the story about this, and maybe I'll share it really quickly, but I came in and we got a chance to know each other because he went to my gym, passed me some books. And one of the questions I had asked in one of these calls, I think some of you guys might have gotten it, that maybe the MTS group that Master the Stage, they did. But I asked him, we're sitting in the airplane and I'm talking to him, I'm like, are you happy? And, he said, he didn't say yes or no, but he just said, I have more fulfillment to do. I have more things. I have more impact to do. I'm not done with my journey yet. So you could tell that he was unfulfilled in what he felt he needed to accomplish. The parable of the talents, his were yet to be fulfilled. And so that's a driving factor. I'm very much like him, where a negative will lead me to my best self. I absolutely live in the negative. My wife, on the other hand, I'm negative to her. She's eating cookies and ice cream. You know what I mean? It's the way it is. I don't know what it is, but it's the way it is. For me, you're like, you're weak. You're something. I'm in the gym. You can't do this. I'm somewhere where you tell me I can't. Just say, I literally had a little banner that says, say I can't. You know, it just motivates me when someone gives me a reason why I can't do something. I'm going to find a way to go beyond me to get it.
That's good.
That's
helpful.
me.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Bunny.
Hi, Craig.
Hello.
I have a question. Hi, how are you? So my question is about, I did a platinum package for Master the Stage, and I don't know if I talked to you about that. I'm not going to be able to go in January because I had a prayer commitment.
Okay.
And then I guess they were working on down the road of when I could possibly go.
Yeah, I think it's March or April. I think I saw March on the books. So yeah, we'll get you reworked there. And you saw I don't know if you saw my live chat in that group. I just was yelling at people to start getting booked up for that.
Yeah, I said that's why I wanted to remind you that I wasn't going to be able to attend it in January. So
okay, yeah, we'll get you rebooked. But yeah, you got that credit.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Anybody want to throw up their hand and ask a question, or we can kind of get into it, because love to just, some people are asking, but I bet a lot of people have questions that maybe they don't want to ask. Do you want me to call on somebody? I'm just gonna go call on people. Okay. I'm staring at right now Tim McCormick. How are you, sir? How's business? I'm gonna kind of handle you like I would another person. What business are you in?
I'm in the insurance business.
Okay. How is that going right now with everything? You just came out of AEP. Were you in that side of it, or are you in?
I'm under 65. I'm still in it. We've got another 30 days going. It's been outstanding this year, and I attribute a lot of it to Coach. I've been associated with him, but since probably May. It's the first time I actually met him face to face.
Okay.
And I believe it's repetition. I'm getting the same message over and over again, and I try to make a conscious effort. I'm too busy to do this right now, but I set aside a time to do this, to participate and hear the message, and he's holding me accountable. He knows it, but he doesn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm here.
100%. And you said something that I want to create a different frame. Okay. You said, I'm too busy to be here right now. And although you prioritize this, which is fantastic, what I'm thinking is this: many of us are in business. And when here's a question we could all answer, and tell me, you could put yeses in the comment, raise a hand, whatever. If you removed yourself from the business, can you still make money in your business? Okay. So you bought yourself a job. You don't have a business, right? So you think of it like that. So I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki way back in the day, and it just gave me such a mind shift. And so I was always I'm going to basically do the one-to-many, somehow residual, make money while I sleep. So while you guys are in the business right now, and you guys are the top, and you're like, okay, I'm the cornerstone, but I'm also the blocker. So if I get hurt, or if I get injured, if I'm not here, my business will fail because I'm not actually, producing the revenue. So I'm going to challenge you guys to think a little bit differently and say, okay, how can I bring on some people beneath me that can do some of the things that I can, so I can do these things, so I can actually show up to these calls, so I can do X, Y, and Z. So like, I coach executive real estate group, or mortgage group. And, I tell them right now, although, that's a hard industry to be in because rates are going up so high, and they feel like, nobody's going to be doing something. If you financed, a couple of years ago when rates were low, 2.9s, I actually did that. I did a HELOC at that time and did some good things there. But, if you do that now, it's like you're paying double the rate. So it's hard business. But I said, look, take this for an opportunity as opposed to the other side. We could all complain about what's happening, but it's outside of our control. What can we do? What I can do is, since it's slower, if I had the reserves, or I could find the reserves, or if I can get some capital, I can build infrastructure. I can build a phone system, a CRM, an automation, a means of actually building a team properly. Because what happens is, when it gets bonanza again and things get good, the problem with this mortgage group is they were actually getting calls while they're selling somebody. And so they had anxiety about not being able to do more business. I'm not sure who's in mortgage. Anybody in mortgage? I was a mortgage guy way back when. It looks like we don't have a lot of those on the call. But for example, like if you find a busy season, you're screwed if you don't have the ability to scale with the times or with the energy, right? So essentially you're missing out on opportunity. So, Tim, you're saying right now, I'm a little busy. It's a great season. How much more can it be for you if you had some team members? And I'm not sure that you do or you don't, but it's just something to be thinking about: infrastructure, systems, automation processes, right?
Yeah, that's all going on right now.
Okay.
It's in the works.
Good. That's it. And that's what you'd be thinking about. It's like, you never sit. I like to quote Aldous Huxley: every ceiling when reached becomes a floor upon one walks with perspective. So you always think about, there's this, and then I got to look down and make sure that I could build this infrastructure so I can get to the next level, build this infrastructure and get to the next level. That's kind of what I do behind the scenes with Coach, is I kind of build out the automations, build out like, how can we grow and scale? Where he's mentioned many times of where his business is. We want to get to 8 figures. We want to get up to that 20 million marker, so that's really what we're looking at and seeing how we could push. And I could tell you, without infrastructure, systems, process, people, it's not going to happen. He could do all he wants, and he could be a dancing clown anywhere he wants, but it's only going to stop at one point. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to be thinking about. If we're in this room, we're thinking about, okay, I might be doing good. I could be doing better. How can I be doing better? Who can help me? He always says it's not the money, it's the who can get me in the room, or I forget his exact quote. He says it so many different times, a couple different ways, but you should be thinking the same way within the businesses that you have. If it's a VA who can do some really graphics or certain things on the cheap that can save you a little bit of coin that you don't have to do yourself, there's a problem with that. Yes, you could save some time in exchange for someone's services. You may have to coach them. You may have to pour into them. You may have to basically take what you know and give it to them. So that's something that you have to consider, is something that has to be approached. So just be thinking about the structures of your business and how you can make it more. Make sense? Okay. Let's see. Anybody want to go? Anybody want to come on here? Go ahead, brother. Got Johnny.
Okay. Yes, I've been in business since '93 for myself, and I'm making a living. I do credit card processing. I get some residual income. But what I'm working on now is, I've got my expenses covered. But what I'm wanting to do is music, record. Mainly what I'm working on is a practical teaching method of piano. I'm going to do it online. I'm going to offer some classes, some for free possibly, and video the classes that I do to offer some video classes. Okay, I've been working on this for a long time, for about a year, I guess. I'm getting ready to start it, even though I'm not quite ready. But I have a question for you. I was wanted to ask you, and you can just I don't want to spend $300 a month. Okay, I know it's a great deal, but here's my question to you. I just started a year ago a retirement, and I'm spending about $300 a month on it. I don't have any kind of thing like that. I just started. I'm considering stopping that to do this for a year at least. But it's kind of scary because I'm always, I'm 50 years old, 55 years old. I'm starting with $300 a month, then we'll go up to $1,000 a month in investing for my retirement. I have some residual income, so I'm going to be okay. But I still think I should do that. But I'm not done. I'm not ready to stop. I'm just getting started, really. I had a liver transplant a year ago. My life has totally changed. I want to do something that's going to be making an impact. So what do you suggest? What do you think about that? I was wanting to call you personally, actually, on this same question.
So I'm a Wall Street guy. I don't know if you guys know that. I think I showed you guys this before, but I worked on the floor of the exchange. I was a derivatives oil trader, open outcry, did all that stuff. So if $300 a month is your starting piggy bank to get to some retirement, you can't retire on that, right? How many years? How old are you? By the way?
I'm 55. So yeah, I'm gonna go $1,000 a month, but I'm gonna start. Just to have something started.
And I'm always saying, yeah, it's a good idea to start, but at the end of the day, if you look at compounding returns, etc., you're looking at a little bit longer of a trajectory. So if you want your money to make money, you have one of two ways. You have a lot of money to make you more money, so it compounds at a better return. And if you started earlier, it would have been a really good story.
Right, yeah.
But since you're a little bit where you're at, it's going to take you 20, 30 years to get something that's going to be nominal enough for you to have a good lifestyle with it. So what you could possibly do is look into it might have been Brad Lee or one of these other guys that, are in the business. They said, it was Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's really good. He used to do Gym Launch. And he said, look, if I have money I'm not going to go throw it into the market right now at some rate. Just like I said, it's just not going to compound fast enough for me to live off of, eat off of. But what I would do is educate, find who in the business that I'm in, whether you like Coach Burt or somebody, to basically take me and give me the skills and education so I can make more money faster. Because if you invest $300 into some coach building or skill building program, you will make more with that course that you make. You will find yourself in places where that money will escalate and compound and trickle faster than just letting the market dictate it. And now we're getting good returns on some of our fixed income and things of that nature that come in from indexes, et cetera. But, there was a time when we weren't doing those things. So you would have to look for other more risky investments to make some kind of decent returns. Right. So that's something you want to consider. I would think about how can I gain skills and knowledge and education for me to take what I have is within me, which is going to be more fulfilling than sitting on letting your money just compound somewhere and to grow. And so that's what I would be thinking of. Look for the person in your specific industry, whether it's us or somebody else, that's going to get you to where you want to be. And then have a definition of success. People lose this all the time. One of the biggest misses, in my opinion, in business is people don't define what's success for them. So make it happen. And then as soon as you bust through success, then you set another goal. It's just like I said, you got to basically say, I need to go get X, Y, and Z. Coach says he wants 25 grand a day. You got to find out what you need to get a day and you work till you get that. And then you set a new goal.
I know in the back of my mind that I should do this with Coach instead of and take that out. But I just wanted to talk to somebody and, somebody that, I know I'm talking to a salesperson, but still, you're here to help people. I understand that. So
I have a different structure than most in the company. Just want to put it out there. So I'm motivated by impact. I have a health coaching business myself. Coach and I will be doing some partnerships on some deals. You'll hear something called Going Pro, where it's going to be health, wealth, mindset, body, etc. So I will have other motivations myself personally. I'm here to give you the best, advice that I possibly can. I think Coach is great. He's for some, he's not for others.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Who we got? Randy, you're sitting in the corner over there. How we doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks.
You got it. So tell me about you. Tell me about your business. Tell me how you're here and all that good stuff.
Followed Coach, goodness, a couple of years ago, ran across him, and he spoke at our association this past summer. And so he had somebody that I was friends with on Facebook had been part of his coaching, and so just kind of went from there. I've talked to Eric a few times over the last couple of years, and just great. We have a real estate business, an auction business in Western New York, and so we've in the couple of years I've followed Coach. He really helped in putting some of his things into practice. Really. Kind of got us through the last couple of years and doing better than ever.
Awesome. Do you have, and I'm looking, there's the Pruitts. I don't know if they were on this call, the Daniel Pruitt and those guys. They have an auction business. They actually came through me, tried to do some CRM stuff and some digital marketing. And they had a really successful launch. They just started a new thing. Are you doing any digital marketing with that? Or are you just providing local advertisement? How are you growing your business?
Well, we're regional primarily, but a lot of what we deal with is specifically from attorneys and other professionals that, referral based.
What kind of auction are you guys doing? What is that?
Real estate and estate personal property.
Okay. Well, there's are you comfortable with your business? Is there more to make? Is there ways to go bigger, deeper, more impact? Or
we're growing, and that's the thing. Taking it from me, myself, and I doing everything over the last 25 years. And now for the last 5 years, my son's come on board and we've brought some employees on. And that's the neat part is kind of maneuvering through that.
Okay, right on. I like looking at like the outcome, the end, right? We always say there's a couple different coaches that talk about what's the end in mind. I like to think of it, depending on where you are in this journey or life cycle. But I always say it's always an upside down cone. A funnel or a triangle, whatever you want to look at, you're here, your outcome that you want is up here, no matter what that is. If it's more time, more money, more people, more fulfillment, you're always looking at where you are in the gap between A and B is what Coach calls it. I call it, I look at it like the funnel and I say, okay, what's the outcome I want? What's the desired place where I feel like that's it? And then I just look at all the structures that have to be in place for that. I think in your situation, you're like, okay, I'm backing out of this business a little bit. I want a little bit more time for myself. I still want it to grow, right? If I'm hearing you properly, you're trying to, wean yourself off of being the guy.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then I would be looking at, okay, like who's best? Now my son's coming up, what skills, talent sets he has. I obviously want to prompt him up, but does he need his structures over here? And you may have this, but I'm just speaking out loud the moment I hear you guys, just like what goes through my head. Okay, I'm building these structures. Who, how many people, what's that revenue look like and all that stuff. But all right, just anything, you're welcome to throw them at me. But if you guys want to go deeper, don't want to be on camera, want to book time with me, just go to Craig@coachburt.com. That's my email. You guys can always just message me and we can work a conversation out. I'll take one more. Does anyone want to go? And anything, if you guys want to speak about the coaching programs or what packages might be in there. Some people like a little bit more. Some people want to do this on like an every other week basis. We have those programs too. So just throwing it out there for people who need whatever they feel like they need.
Craig, maybe you could talk about, while I still got you, just what all the one that he's putting out there, and I've talked to Eric in the past about this, but maybe for those that don't know, just what that weekly coaching all entails.
Sure. So you're going to get into are any of you guys in the, if you're not in the private Facebook group, the actual Monster Producer Facebook group? Okay, some are, some aren't. He's going to get in there and he's super consistent. So he'll give like, these little motivational calls that sometimes you don't see that what goes on in there. But on Monday, he has a stand-up call. He goes through his academy. And I could tell you in 2023, things are going to change just a little bit more. I'm pushing him a lot to be like, okay, we're outcome people. You and I, he speaks and he gets busy and he gets in this rhythm. I am like, I want impact. I want outcome. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I want to know how I'm coaching somebody and what is the success. I'm always going to push the success. So if I can have my way with anything, it's going to be a little bit more dynamic, success driven. I want an outcome. I want tangible benefits at the end of the day. So today, the way it works is basically you're in Monster Producer. You have the entire academy. By the end of the year, we're going to be moving it to a different house, and it's going to be broken down in a little bit more segments, so you can go into your specialty and figure out, exactly what you need. Right now, it's like more of a full organization, a full course, a lot of time, a lot of hours in there. So you could definitely watch that for days, weeks actually, and not not hit the same video twice. But essentially, his Monday call would be him going in there and literally speaking about one specific topic that's already in the book. We do this every Monday morning. He'll go on Sunday night and shoot us like the message of the week and say, okay, I'm training in this, I'm going through it. And he will literally go through his own stuff and pick it up and then get re-energized in the content. And so we literally have like quizzes in the morning. He comes back and said, okay, we're learning this right now. What did you learn? And so we have that. And then he'll basically take what we have in our Monday morning, and then he'll go into his coaching call on Monday, the 12:30 call, and then present those ideas to the group, make sure that you guys have the structures, etc. So I can't say it's groundbreaking. Most people know it's nothing that we're saying right now is groundbreaking stuff. Sometimes you'll get a ooh and a ah, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, I knew that, I heard that, I saw that, but what the heck? Why am I not doing it? And then you just start looking internally and say, okay, I'm going to make a plan. So at the end of the day, if you've had a coach, I play college ball, semi-pro, and different things like that. You have a coach who's basically course correcting you. Hey, step here. Don't take a false step. Move this way, not that way. Make your head do this. Like in sports, a business coach is going to be starting to weave around and say, why are you not looking at these? When I have a call with somebody, I'm looking at faith, fitness, fellowship, and finances. I'm always looking at the 4 structures, because you just don't have business fulfillment. You have personal fulfillment. You have Coach said it in his Purpose to Profit, which I'm creating a course for you guys. So if anyone who's gone through Purpose to Profit, the 2-day virtual, just understand in 2023, there'll be a full course to his whole product. And we might try to do a tour on that. So maybe we'll come to a city near you. But there's a lot of internal profit that you can have too, right? You get feedback, you get fulfillment. I have a lot of internal profit from the fulfillment, and I chase that. How do I get it? I help you guys. How do I get it? I get you to an outcome. I make you more money. I make you more fit. I make your head clear. I get you, and same for him. So it's like us coaches, we have a benefit to basically go into the market, provide a service to somebody, because we can actually physically see a change in finances or in health or in wisdom. And it actually changes. Where some service-based businesses, you're just providing a service, you're fixing a problem. We are actually helping provide something to you, and in turn, usually you help your circle. So there is a good waterfall effect that happens too. Long way to say what you asked. But anyone else? Take one more. Okay, Tim.
I'll go. Yeah, so I just signed up for Monster Producer yesterday. So I got an email came through. I haven't like gone through it. It's been a little bit busier morning.
Yep.
But when it comes, so I'm sure there's, if all these are answered in that kind of intro email and getting set up, then that's cool too. But when it comes to really kind of making the most out of Monster Producer, the whole program as a whole, what would you suggest, knowing that there's like a ton of videos and you can get lost in there for weeks? And, you know, if you're trying to like have some type of schedule where you're maybe doing a little bit each day, what have you found for people who are kind of coming into the program that get the most out of it compared to just binging it all and then not doing anything with it?
Master a concept. Master a concept. There's too many people that will write the notes, right? Like you're writing right now, right? A lot of times this is the problem with us. We sit there and be like, oh, I got to write that down. And then what happens? We got notes and we're just like, do we ever go back through those notes? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Like I'm a data guy. So part of what I do is I own a software company in Silicon Valley with a partner, and it's data for fitness. So we basically help coaches basically take their workouts and track them and then make the data make sense to them later on. I have books and stacks literally like this of like workout journals. How good are they? They don't do anything for me. They're basically just like a history book, right? So what I would suggest to you guys do is go through a concept and master it, where you can quote it, where you can be it, where you can be into it, and then move to the next thing. Don't just try to watch the movie. I would say watch the movie in the beginning until you master that movie. And then you're like, I got it. Like literally my daughter is doing right now, Luke 2, 8 through 14, which is like the Jesus story in the town of David. And she had a week to memorize like these. It was literally like a full page. It was like, and she's 7. And I think she has a better memory than me because she has it. Like literally, I just quizzed her in the morning at this school and she has it. And I'm like, damn, that was good. But what she did, she didn't read the whole thing. I said, chunk it. Take the first sentence and read it until you got it. Then go to the next sentence and read it till you got it. So my suggestion is take a concept that you're curious about or you feel more of when it sounds to you, and then just rip it and just rip it and just hit it. And then, you know, don't even take notes. You don't need notes. You're just going to use, because the notes aren't going to help you when you're trying to talk to somebody, you're trying to do things. It's not like you're referring back to note. A good quote might do it, but if you hit that enough times, then you got it. That's how I would do it. And spend 20 minutes in the morning when you're driving or whatever, just to like take it in, take it in, take it in, take it in.
Cool. That's helpful. Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna write that down.
Cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna take this one off. But again, Craig at coachburt.com. If you want my time, we'll get on the schedule together and we'll go from there. But appreciate you all joining us for this series. I hopefully was helpful for you guys. I will package up the notes and make sure they look pretty coming back to you guys. So we'll hit you guys probably Monday with that. I could tell you I'm not going to do that today, but we'll make that happen. Awesome. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Have a great one.
Do that today.
No, we're not talking to you today. Siri, always yelling at me. All right, see ya.